怪我から復帰しドジャースの下位打線を支えているマックス・マンシー選手、パドレス戦前のオフの日にファウルテリトリーの番組に出演し、大谷選手のマイアミでの歴史的な試合について、50号のホームランについて、プレーオフでは投手として出場するのかを質問されコメントしていました。
I'm good, man. Nice off day before big series for us.
By the way, when you were sitting there like this, were you thinking about, man, if I could just have 1 month like Shohei's had this past week, man, I'd have a great year. Because, I mean, what is he, 16 for 32, 18 for 36, 6 homers, 19 RBIs, 7 stolen bases?
There's a lot of people that would kill to have just a night like he's had, several times this week. It's pretty incredible.
Were you surprised they pitched to him?
Well, which time?
I mean, in Miami.
Ever?
I mean, the one time when Skip Schumacher, they were like, what do you think we should walk him? And Skip was like, you could read his lips. He basically said, bleep that. We're pitching to him. And then he went, Papa.
I was sitting there. A lot of us were sitting there on the bench during that moment, and we looked over into their dugout. You obviously can never tell what's being said in the other dugout, but it definitely looked as though the majority of the coaching staff was saying, hey, we need to walk him right here. And you could kind of see it on Skip's face. He was just like, no, absolutely not. I'm not going to do that. He's like, that's a bad look. And, a lot of us have always had a lot of respect for Skip already as it was. When he was the first base coach for the Padres, a lot of us got to talk to him when he was over there. And then, we've had several guys that have actually played with Skip. And so, we've always held Skip in really high regards over here. And when that happened, everyone was kind of like, yeah, Skip's the man for that.
Can you see it? Can you see when Shohei's going to have a game like this? Because I know there were some guys I played with. I'm sure some guys you played with, like, we're the ESPN game. Like, this guy's going to – we're getting a 3 for 4 from player X. Is there a time when you, like, look at it and you go, Shohei might do something crazy? I know he's got an unbelievable season, 50 homers. You could say that every other day. But is there something that you see and you're like, uh-oh, he's going to do something cool?
It's hard to kind of pick a certain day for him because any given day he can go out there and put out that kind of day. His routine is so steady and it's the same every single day. The only thing that changes is whether or not he's throwing a bullpen. And that's the other thing that's crazy is he's going out there and having nights like this after throwing a 50, 60 pitch bullpen, which that would gas a lot of people already as it is. And then he goes out and steals 3 bags that night. And it's just absolutely incredible.
Max, were you mad? The fan that got the 50th homer, they took it home. They didn't give it back. So, like the Dodgers going to put together like a GoFundMe to buy that from the guy or the person that took that thing home? Because Shohei's only making $2 million this year, so I don't know if he's going to be able to get it back. So maybe because Dodger players, you could get Mookie to maybe chip in a couple bucks, Freddie, maybe throw in $10. You could throw in a couple bucks and get a GoFundMe going so you can get Shohei's 50th homer back.
I think Sho's doing just fine. He might only be making 2 on the field, but he's making way more than that off. So I think he's doing just fine. That's always an interesting subject when you're talking about fans that catch home run balls that have significance to them. What do they ask for, or what do they want? Are they being reasonable, unreasonable? I don't ever know what the correct answer to that is. It's if your sole intention is just to make money out of the ball, then you got to do what you can to make the most money. If you're there because you want to be part of history, then obviously you're going to have a different answer as to what it's going to take to get that ball back. And I don't ever know what the correct answer is. I mean, I've never been in that spot. If I don't know what I would think if I was in that spot and I caught the 50th home run ball or a 60th home run ball or a 70th, something that's breaking a record. The guy that caught Albert's 700th ball, I don't know what the correct answer to ask for is in that situation.
I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and I'm going to say, Max, you're not asking for a lot of money. You're a guy that keeps extending. You keep coming back to a place you love. Here's the real question. I know there's a Max Muncy. We're having Max Muncy on, but it sounds like a Shohei story. Do you think Shohei will pitch in the playoffs for the Dodgers?
No, but I'm not in that room when those conversations are being had. I know that Show is an absolute competitor, and and just the amount of excitement that we've seen around him just these last couple of days, knowing that he's going to the playoffs for the first time, it's been really, really cool. The emotion he's been showing the last couple of games, it's hard to explain, just in the dugout and the clubhouse, what you're seeing from him. And, he's pumped. He's really pumped. We can't wait to see him, in the postseason. It's just been, it's been pretty wild.
Yeah. So here's my follow-up to that. Should the team hold a player like Shohei back? You just said he's so excited about the playoffs. He's a competitor. All things that could get in the way of making decisions that are tougher. Do you feel like the decision should be 80% the player, 20% the team, or is this the team should step in if the player's health is to risk? Because we talk about this all the time with pitchers ripping too many pitches that end up hurting their arms, but the player ultimately makes a choice to throw those pitches. So should the team be the one that makes a final decision to keep a player healthy?
In a situation like this, I think a team has about 700 million reasons to step in. As players, you've heard people say it all the time. We're more than willing to put our body at risk to go out there and win. And so, the majority of the time when it's given, when it's in our shoes, we're going to take it and run with it and say, hey, we want to do this. And that's where the team comes in and says, no, this isn't the best idea. We got to think about longevity sometimes. And, and so I think there needs to be a little bit of both. Obviously, for, whatever reason, if it's on the player side and they say, no, I don't want to do it, everyone looks at them weird. It's, oh, you don't want to win. You don't want to tough it out. And, that's definitely not the case. But, the majority of the time, I'd say the players would want to take it and run with it.
マンシー選手は守備の際にまた脇腹を痛めてしまったようですが、表情は明るくパドレス戦では復帰できるようでとても安心しました。マイアミではシューメーカー監督へリスペクトの気持ちを表し、大谷選手の投手としての出場という答えにくい質問についても、マンシー選手らしくとてもいい表現でコメントしていたのが印象的でした。これからも下位打線を支え豪快なホームランを期待します。